Good morning. Welcome to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman Bergeron here on Humanity Healing. And happy Valentine's Day to each and every one of you. It's a special day of remembering love. And so today's topic can't just encompass love without speaking of forgiveness as we move through this beginning of the year 2020. There is a lot of energy moving, bringing up old stuff, shocking us sometimes in ways that we feel we're not really prepared for. Yet there's no real preparation for this that is simple or easy, other than to perhaps just let go of a lot of what we have, the stories we have been told, the lessons that taught us selfishness, the teachings of power, and come back into this truth of who we really are as loving, caring, compassionate beings. So, see people arriving, 25, and I have 2 people here on the sideline. Thank you for showing up on this amazing day, and hopefully the love will flow and the light will flow, and you'll receive something that you can take away with you to think about. So, as I woke this morning, it is Valentine's Day, and I'm an old guy. Started remembering a song, and it was a song that was sung back in 1965 by Jackie DeShannon, and the name of the song was "What the World Needs Now Is Love." And I played that, and it was such a beautiful memory to come back to, and I would like to read just the first stanza of it. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love, not just for some, but for everyone. And I spared you my singing, so be thankful. However, those words are just so precious, and if you play it, you look it up on YouTube and play it, it's just an old memory for me of a time of innocence. I was probably 16, 15, whatever, and involved in the world of chaos back then was really still active. It was Vietnam, and it was political, and then there was Kent State. There were all of these horrible things that were happening. There were rights for the black people. There was so many things to be involved with socially to try and change and bring about change in the world. And it's in the history. It's in the history where, yeah, many of us wandered off and got lost and then came back. Many of us changed the whole pattern of thinking and became the power brokers. This is humanity in its nutshell. And as we see that play out, where is the love? That was another song, where is the love that we talked about, that we felt, that we wanted, that we needed? And why were we so needy back then for love? And why are we so needy for love right now? And we are. We're very needy for love. Because everything that's happening around us it overshadows our love that we wish to express. And we actually sometimes want to express love to somebody, and we get nervous, or we don't know how to do that, or how do I say I love you without somebody thinking that I want something more than just to say I love you. I see you as a beautiful being, a beautiful person in my life. I want nothing. I just want you to know is I want to share my love, energy with you and offer it to you so that you will feel loved and pass it on to somebody else as well. Isn't that really what love is about? It's about sharing. It's about caring. It's about finding that deeper place within ourselves where we love ourselves. And this is a problem today, is there's so many distractions and so many outside interferences that we've lost the ability to love ourselves. And so this is sort of my introduction, and I have my show notes, and they were amazing as they come through as I prepare for this. I don't prepare this until the morning just before. Sometimes I'm pushing the clock to get everything out online. And so love and forgiveness became the topic of today's story, because we have a lot of forgiveness that we need to manifest within ourselves and share with each other in order to bring love back into the forefront of our life experience. Amber, good morning. Thank you for being here. Anita, thank you for being here. Thank you all. That's all I'm seeing in the sideline, but you're welcome to sign in and chat, and I'll try to talk to you. Sometimes I get caught in my own world here of preaching, some people call it. I'm not here to preach. I look back, that song by Jackie DeShannon was sung in 1965. We're sitting here now in 2020, 55 years. 55, the number 55. 55 is a very powerful number. It's a power number. It's a double number. It's 11 to the 5th extension. Okay, and as we look around the world, 55 years is a very short window of time in the life of humanity. In the life of, us personally, it can be a long time. There are many, as we know, in our own families who never made it to 55 years. And right now we send them our love and our compassion and whatever you'd like to send to those who are not with you any longer here on this Valentine's Day. Send them your love. Let them know how much you miss them, how much you wish the best for them, that what you hope for them is what they're experiencing. And know that in that moment of exchanging love, even with those who are no longer here, the love is flowing. And this is what's important about Valentine's Day for me, is to remind me to keep the love flowing. That we have a really cosmic opportunity to rebalance everything that's distorted in our lives, everything that's distorted in the world around us. That through love, we get to let go of all that no longer serves us. And this is what the number 55 represents as well. An opportunity to get rid of fears, to get rid of traumas, things that are stored about your doubts, your self-worthiness that are all stored within your genetic coding, memory. So a lot of the stuff that keeps us from loving each other is right here and right now and in play with the intention to keep us from loving each other. Because when we don't like each other, we tend to go and try to fill that emptiness with stuff. And we have to go buy something, or we need something, or we look for something that has no capacity to give us love, to fill that emptiness. And that's profitability. That's what the corporations of the world love to feed on. Because they're not interested in love. They're not interested in humanity. They're interested in products, in cash, in money, in climbing a ladder of success that its only end is how much can you have? You're still going to leave this planet. And at some point, you're going to have to deal with how and what you've done in this lifetime. And when you look back down at your life from the other side and you realize, wow, I could have, I should have, you're going to look down on a lot of things that you will review. I say this because I've done it. It doesn't matter what it is, but part of the reason of coming back for me was to share the peace, the light, and the love that I realized in that moment of being there, in that light, that was real, because I never felt it in my lifetime. Many of us don't experience love in our lifetimes that compares to what is written in the books or what people say are how you should feel. We didn't get that love. And that was because our parents or caretakers didn't have the capacity then to explore and experience their own love. And I offer my prayers to them today on Valentine's Day. May they know that I can say I love you to them now, even though I know they had no clue what that meant when I was a child. So I say this because I'm speaking not about myself, I'm speaking to you, each and every one of you. And the ones of you who did have love and understand love, there's even more expected from you to help others share their love. Don't judge the ones who can't love. Forgive them. And that's the second word, is forgiveness, is how do we come to a place of forgiveness? So, as I said, it's a cosmic opportunity. 55, the number 55 offers us a cosmic opportunity to rebalance all that is distorted in our lives and the world around us. To let go of all that no longer serves us, such as fears, traumas, or simply doubts. And it gives us an opportunity to begin again, to know that we can create another cycle, one in which we're uplifted and we can expand into the community around us. So I pulled a card, obviously my wonderful shining, my cards here. And it's called Shining Star. It's Messier 74, Grand Design, Spiral Galaxy. that is viewed by Earth observers nearly face on. Perfectly symmetrical spiral arms and glowing pink regions. So it's almost human as they describe it. Arms, flesh-colored, pink. The message of the shining star is really, as a spiritual being, I know my light shines brighter than any star in the universe. I want to read that again. As a spiritual being, I know my light shines brighter than any star in the universe. Light and love. Love is the extension of light. Light is the extension of love. They're all entwined, entangled, all beautifully woven together for us to express our true divine presence with each other. Happy birthday, Julia, 55 years old. Bless you, dear heart. So as we become these deeper spiritual beings, what do we do on Valentine's about that? What is that all about? Well, Valentine's Day represents light as well as the goddess Juno. And as I looked up this morning, I wanted to know where was the origins of some of these stories that we've told, and you know, where did it begin? Where was the beginning of this concept of this day of celebration? And so I went back to, it was called the goddess Juno of Rome, and she was referred to as the queen of the gods. She was the queen of the gods of ancient Rome. And her aspects, she had different aspects, but as the aspect name, she was called Juno Lucina. She was known as the goddess of childbirth, as, and it was in quotes, she who brings children into the light. When I read that, I think of the light of where I went to when I died. And here it's the opposite. The goddess Juno is bringing us into the light here as children. And it's done in love. It's done in love and grace. This goddess, Juno Lucina. So here is the feminine aspect coming through. And we should be celebrating the goddess in all of us. And I say this to the men who are listening. It's really sometimes a challenge for us to embrace the divine feminine in us, because we've been taught and trained and programmed to be ultra masculine. And when we look around the world at ultra masculinity and what it's done, we realize that we've destroyed a planet. It doesn't get much worse than that. I'm sorry. You kill animals, you kill plants, you kill people. Now you're killing planets. This is what happens when there's love that can't be expressed and internalized. So the goddess is speaking to us all on Valentine's Day. Mother Goddess, Sophia, who I'll read something from later. The original divine feminine creator. that we embody, even though we're not consciously aware of. So the card was went on to read, as I look up at the stars, I see all the magnificence of the universe. I see great potential in each and every human being. A door is open for celestial guidance, growth, and inspiration. God's love is always with me, and I'm never alone. God's love, our love. Valentine's Day. It's about love and forgiveness. And part of the forgiveness is really not so much about forgiving others, but forgiving ourselves. Because we carry a lot of darkness within us. And we stuff that down and we hide it away and we're filled with it. And some of it is ancestral. We come into this lifetime, into the new body, still carrying some of the darkness of our ancestors in our genetic memory. So many of you who are experiencing a rough time right now with stuff coming up and wondering, why do I have to go through this again? I thought I dealt with this. Most of it is residue that's left, and it will come up in a different shape and a different form and keep coming up until we get rid of it. So we're not being punished. This is not a punishment, even though it doesn't feel good, even though we say, why are you doing this to me? The reality is it's coming up because it's begging us to be released. It doesn't want to be here any more than we want it to be here. The time has come for this pain and suffering to leave, to move on. There's no room left for it. There is so much pain and suffering in this world that we just can't invite more in. So we're in this process of releasing, of reconnecting, and each one of us have a responsibility through love and forgiveness to release it. And so it comes up and we struggle with it, and we struggle with it, we try to push it away. And that's normal. But if we can just sit down and say, how can I move through this experience with forgiveness? What happens for me, even though I may be forgiving someone else for something they've done or said or whatever I imagined took place, when I really tap into forgiveness, I realize that they're the mirror for me. They're the presenter. They're presenting me an opportunity to take a deeper look into me so that I can release with love this pain that I've been carrying around my whole life. I got off my topic a little bit, but it's there. It's, off my schedule. I'm a little late, but it's Valentine's Day, and I love you. I love you all that show up. I love the ones who read it afterwards or see it afterwards. I love the people who don't see it, because you're still getting the message. Somehow, each of us, when we speak from our hearts, it moves into the field of resonance that the greater whole can tap into. And as each one of us exercise that gift of changing ourselves and our own perspective from one of fear or anger into love, we generate a frequency that can't be shut down. It's only shut down by our interaction with what's around us, because we are naturally born lovers. We came from love. We are love. We're just not experiencing it to the fullest. We can right here, right now. So I'm going to go over a little bit here. I wanted to read a card from beloved Kuan Yin, who, the Oracle card, which I love that deck. Let's see if I can find my notes. Okay, the card was Maiden Magoo. I think that's how you would say that name. So here it is. Let's see, Maiden. And isn't that a beautiful, divine, feminine picture with her basket of flowers? And it relates to spring, which is coming here in northern USA. But the message that she brings forth is this: the Maiden Magoo, goddess of spring, healing and transformation, brings you assistance now. You are asked to honor that light can come from even the darkest beginnings. In fact, sometimes we need to enter the unknown parts of ourselves to find exactly what we need to grow in peace, creative self-fulfillment, and happiness. The challenge can be to trust that we will arise from the darker place again. Just as spring always follows the winter, so too will any inner work with the shadow provide a beautiful rebirth for you. And so, in essence, it's really our forgiveness. The forgiveness of what is lying deep within those dark places of our own hearts and genetic memory that need to be brought to light and seen fully. No, I don't want to see this. None of us really want to see this. It's not pretty. But be strong enough to have enough light to depend on the light we are, to know that that cannot defeat us. As ugly or as horrible as it may be, we are this light from which the love emanates. And we want to see it so that we can fully forgive it and release it forevermore. As we evolve as a human species, there is no more room for pain and suffering. It's time to move on, let it go, because we are welcoming in new light, new crystalline codes of genetics that will not be controlled by humanity, as they're doing now with playing with DNA. They won't be able to touch this. We're becoming an evolved species of who we truly are, and closer to being able to understand the greater wisdom that has been kept away from us for all these thousands of years. So every time we forgive what arises from our darkness, we immediately gain more light. Think of that. I know it's painful. I go through it just like everyone else. But know that on the other side of that, it gets brighter. And we have more power, we have more energy to express love to strangers, to people, to animals, to trees, to planet Earth, to each other. The more light we become, the more love we have to offer. That was my final word on my show notes. I thank you all for being here on this Valentine's Day. I send you my love and my light. I know that it's, sometimes caught up in and it's fun to be the romantic and the fun stuff and celebration. And so go out and celebrate. Go out and celebrate love and share that love with somebody. I encourage people, if you're going out to dinner, send somebody a drink and just say, Happy Valentine's Day. Just sharing my love. Doesn't matter. Just share your love. Don't keep it separate and tight within. Open your hearts, open your minds, open your light. And thank you all for showing up. I wore red in honor of Valentine's Day. I love you all. I thank you all. I know I've gone over a few minutes, but that's okay. It's all perfect. And I thank you for showing up. And the last thing I wanted to do is read these words from Sophia, the wisdom of Sophia. It comes from a book, The Thunder Perfect Mind, part of the 1949 Nag Hammadi Library. And so let's just close on these words from Sophia. I was sent forth from the power, and I have come to those who reflect on me. And I have been found among those who seek after me. Look upon me, you who reflect upon me. And you hearers, hear me. You who are waiting for me, take me to yourselves. And do not banish me from your sight. And do not make your voice hate me, nor your hearing. Do not be ignorant of me anywhere or anytime. Be on your guard. Do not be ignorant of me. And Sophia is the primordial mother of all of us. And those are her words on this day of Valentine's, remember and honor her through your actions and your words. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. And we are unity. Happy Valentine's Day. Bye-bye.